Hey, good morning. I am here with a fantastic agent in Georgia. Today, we're talking about multiple states and what we're seeing happening in multiple states throughout the country from the trenches of real estate, from agents full-time in the trenches. I'm talking to Robert Akerly. Robert, how you doing, pal?
I am doing great, Cash. How you doing today?
Great to have you here, man. I know you're just fresh out of the gym and into the office and ready to take on the day.
Yeah, man, my office is out there. You know how it is with the video content. So I'm going to be getting back out to my office here soon once we're done with this video.
Awesome, fantastic. And I'm talking to you from Las Vegas. Robert's in Georgia today. I also handle real estate in Idaho, Boise, Treasure Valley, Idaho area, and Southern California, the Santa Clarita markets, and right here in fabulous Las Vegas. And of course, Robert, he's worked with California for years and years in Santa Clarita, and now he's out in Georgia and just selling real estate, helping lots of people buy and sell homes out there, and loving it out there in those lakes and everything, right?
I absolutely love it, man. That's the whole reason I moved out here to the East Coast to enjoy a little bit of lake life. Different
Yeah.
lifestyle for sure, but I'm loving it.
Man, I can't blame you for that, pal. So let's get into it real quick here. A couple things we're going to talk about today is what we are seeing, again, from the trenches in real estate, full-time, hardworking realtors working in different markets. We can share with you a real strong inside perspective of what we're seeing, how the market is doing. Lots of questions about what's going on in the market. You're going to see the market's crashing. The market's doing fine. We're in a seller's market, a buyer's market, a neutral market. Where in the hell are we right now, right? What is going on? So we're going to break it down to you real quick, and then we're going to talk to you about some things, if we could squeeze it in this morning, about what you can do to prepare your house for sale if you're listing your house and getting that sold right now. So, Robert, I'm going to start out by talking about the market and what I'm seeing right now. And what I'm seeing between the multiple states that I'm working in is a slowdown. If I had to come up with a word to explain the whole thing, I'm seeing a slowdown. We're moving it to more of a normal, neutral kind of a market. How are you seeing things in Georgia, and what's your perspective on that?
Well, we've been seeing it probably for about 12 to 18 months already. I think it hit a little bit of this area first before it hit Santa Clarita. Maybe not as much as Idaho, maybe a little different in Vegas, but it's been a slow, and people are still buying and selling real estate. But what I will tell you, it's the agents that are doing it. It's the 90-10 principle, no longer the 80-20. So we're seeing a lot of the good agents who know how to bring a lot of value, who know how to do their job very well, go
Right.
out there and dominate the market because they know what it takes to work with a buyer and sellers, and also how to merge them both together. Because the buyers are out there, whether the relocation buyers, investors, it doesn't matter. Homes sell no matter what market, but you got to
Right.
have a quality agent that knows what they're doing to get the job done with a game plan, and nothing's changed. The problem is the last couple of years with the pandemic, anyone with a real estate license, anyone with a heartbeat could have sold a home because
Right.
it was so easy. So now it's
Yeah.
becoming a little bit different. Not to blabber on too much, but a little bit different as far as the market. I am starting to notice that rates coming down, and here comes some more of the buyers. So it happens every single time with the rates, and everyone shops on a payment. So here we are.
Right. That interest rate, yeah, and I'm seeing a 5.75 talking to my lender last night that he's getting from my lender in Glendale, California, that my personal lender for mortgage, and I've referred many, many clients to him. The guy's fantastic, Dave D'Souza at Primary Mortgage down in Glendale. But he was quoting a 5.75 last night that he's getting for 30 years conforming. And then that's up to a $766,000 loan balance. After that, you're going into a higher loan, you're going into a jumbo, right, or a high balance. And then we're going to kick up usually about an eighth to a quarter of a point more than that. So you're looking at, in my opinion, what I'm seeing from what my lender's sharing is 5.75% right now, which is fantastic. That's the lowest it's been in about 20 months.
Yeah, and buyers are jumping all over that because it wasn't too long ago that they were comfortable with the 7.25. As long as it was under 7.5, I'll buy a
Right,
home. And then we went into
right.
this, low sevens and then sixes, and all of a sudden people went to bed and woke up and we're in the fives again. So I think
Yes,
what's going to start happening is people start realizing, wow, that's a big difference on a loan balance of 500,000-600,000 versus maybe 10 years ago when we were thinking about 300,000. Now it's something to talk about with one whole percent difference on that payment. Once again, everyone shops on that payment. So probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to see it tick up right before Thanksgiving. People are going to great time to sell. And then you'll see people kind of slow down, see what happens with the elections. Then here comes January, February, all over again. It happens every year.
yeah. I completely agree with that. And if there's buyers out there sitting on the fence right now, waiting for the Fed, which is meeting on the 18th of this month, and then I know there's a lot of buyers going, I'm waiting to see what happens. Well, guess what? they've already priced these numbers in to the lenders. It's already there, right?
Yeah.
It might go down a little bit more, but listen, you can float the rate, okay? If you see a home today and you get into escrow tomorrow, right, Robert, then you don't have to lock that rate in. You get into some really good communication with your lender and you talk about floating that rate. You're communicating every day. Should I lock it today? Should I let it float a little bit longer? You got that up to probably about 7 days before close, so you could actually lock and dock. That's what the lenders say. Let's lock and dock it when you want to do it. And it's, hey, I'm in Vegas. We all have a gamble a little bit. That's how we have to play it sometimes, right? But so buyers, please know, you don't have to wait for the 18th to see some miraculous discovery with the interest rates. It could just stay where it's at. It could go down a little bit more. Knowing the Fed that we have here, it could go up a little bit more. I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to stay flat and go down a little bit more.
Here's something to think about. And I think that now that you have the attention of some of the buyers who are sitting on what's going to happen, right? Everyone thinks they're ahead of the curve. Well, we've been doing this. This is what we do day in and day out. It's what we stare at a computer. We look at rates. We look at what's going on in the real estate market. We study it. We know when it's a buyer's market. We know inventory. There's a reason for that because numbers don't lie. And then this is the problem that people are waiting for the rates. Yes, you do get a lower payment if your rates go down correctly, but that's not the biggest struggle. That's your second struggle. Number one struggle is your competition. Because when those rates go down, there comes a competition. Now the home that was $600,000, I don't care what number it is, it's going to escalate, and now you're going to pay more. Even if the rate does come down, you're still going to pay more because the chances of you staying in the home for 30 years and paying it off, et cetera, and not refinancing, very, very thin. The deal is getting the home, not getting a deal on a home. And I think people in real estate don't realize that because at the end of the day, it's a supply and demand market, and that's why prices will always go up. Little dips, of course, like we're in a little dip right now, but that's why people need to capitalize right now because in a couple weeks, it's going to be too late. And I can't stress that enough, right? It only works for the people who are ready to buy a home right now. I'm not talking to my friends and family that aren't ready because they're missing the boat. But if you are ready, now's the time to be calling your agent, getting out there, hitting the streets, finding out what the market and what the beat is, and take advantage of those homes that are sitting on the market for 60, 90 days because those sellers need to go. And they know the same thing these buyers know, which is I better buy my next home before it's too late. So they have motivation as well.
Oh, spot on. Absolute great advice, 100%. So let's talk a little bit about why the market has slowed a little bit. I mean, obviously the interest rates have been north of 7%, and that's why things have slowed down. And then also we have this commission debacle, the lawsuit with the National Association of Realtors, which has been very, very interesting. And you said, hey, make sure you reach out to a good agent. And we're seeing that the 80-20 rule now convert to a 90-10 rule, right? Which means, the 10% of the people are doing 90% of all the business, right? So, and I agree with that. I'm seeing that wholeheartedly. We're seeing a lot of different agents falling out of the business. We've been seeing that for a while now. And because you have to really know your craft, you really have to bring a lot to the table for your clients. And one thing that's going on now, and in my opinion, that has caused a little bit more of a slowdown is probably this commission. Everyone's trying to digest this, the buyers, the sellers, and a lot of different agents. And what I mean by the agents is the agents have to know what's going on with that too. They really have to know the ins and outs of this whole situation and how to apply it with selling a home and with buying a home. And a good agent is going to be able to articulate that with the buyers and the sellers so they could put deals together because that's our job. We have to put the deals together, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that 100%, and everything is exactly that. And I'm going to bring up a name that you and I know very well, and that's Mr. Dave Rendall. And he's been saying this for years, is that commission is getting compressed, and it's always going to be because it's in a way people look at real estate, oh, I can go make a lot of money and have my enjoy time and do this. The other problem is that they don't know how to run a business, and they don't know how to do time manage and do all those things. But what comes with time management is education and knowing the craft of what we're doing, right? Kobe Bryant was a very good basketball player because he practiced every single day. You're a very good real estate agent because he practices every day. We're doing this video right now on a random Friday. So my point of that is we are in the business daily, and the commission is going to get compressed. And the better that I do and the better that you do with explaining our value, the other agents are either going to go one way or the other. And what I mean by that is the agents are either going to learn how to do this on their own and create their own team, or they're going to run away from that and they're going to go join agents and know how to provide value. But your commission is going to get compressed because I'll tell you this, I, as a team and the leads that I provide for my buyers agents and the people that are coming to me, they're of value. We don't have to argue about the commission. We already explained the process. We already crossed that bridge a long time ago. So by the time we're out looking at homes, they're pre-approved. We know the motivation. We know all that stuff. And it's no longer the days of let's go on realtor.com, let's go on Zillow, schedule a tour. I'm not going to buy a home because guess what? Realtors aren't out there doing that because they can't anymore. It's not as easy. So now it's allowing the agents to really take the time and do this job right, taking the value to the buyers and the sellers. And now they are growing as far as people wanting to work with them because now what's going on is it's becoming more of a professional business and being able to articulate your value just like any attorney would, if you get my drift on that. And, you know, kind of do what you need to do to make your money and have people come to you. And that's what's going on. We're going to see more and more of it. So shout out to Dave Rendell. Talked about this for 5 years is compression on the commission, but not for everyone, right? I'm now starting to charge more because I bring more of a value and I save my clients more money. So of course I can bring more value to that. So it's really how it works. You know, I know you want to dive a little bit more into how sellers can benefit on this and how they can really, if they need to sell and how to do that in the next 6 months, because really time is unknown. We don't know what's going to happen in 6 months. We only know what's going on right now. We can only educate our buyers and sellers for what's going on right now. Exactly. And we get asked that question all the time. How's the market? Well, the market for you is going to depend. Are you buying or are you selling? And how are you going to work that into the market today, right? And we can't foresee what the market's going to do in the next 6 months. We can look at the numbers today and have a pretty good feeling what's going on in the next couple weeks, right? But that's about as far as it's going to go because we're in a volatile market, a volatile economy. We're in an election year. Throw that wrench into the program, right? And then you've got the new lawsuit situation there and agents out there trying to digest it, buyers, sellers, they're all trying to figure this whole thing out. Is this real? Is this true? Does that, like I've had sellers go, oh, I don't have to offer a commission anymore. Well, no, you never had to offer a commission. You never had to. But honestly, I say it like this when I'm talking to my sellers. No, you don't have to. But honestly, here's what I do when I sell my personal homes. I offer a commission and I offer the prevailing rate that's going on in the market right there. I offer a fair commission. I want the buyer agent, I want a good buyer agent to come and help me get this deal closed, right? I want him to bring the buyer, and then I want him to help me through the whole 30 to 45-day escrow, which there's going to be a couple different negotiations. There's going to be things that ebb and flow. There's going to be a buyer that may be deciding they're getting nervous and they're getting the buyer remorse. They want to back out. Who knows, right? So you want to make sure you got a good buyer agent on the other side helping you close this deal up. That's what it's all about. Right. So my suggestion to the seller is I would suggest this. When I sell my house, that's what I do. I offer a prevailing commission to the buyers out there with whatever's going on in the market, right? And it's different in different areas. Like in Idaho, very strong 3% commissions going out to buyer agents. That's still very strong. You know, Vegas, still you got the 2.5 and the 3% out there. California, a little more suppressed. Maybe you got a few people offering 2%. You know, I don't really see too much less than that. I see a lot of 2.5 still. Sometimes an occasional 3, right? Just depends on how much they want to motivate and incentivize the buyer agent to bring and close that deal up. There's your key word is motivation, and everything's all done by motivation. What's your motivation to go call people who want to sell? What's the seller's motivation to want to sell for the top dollar? What's the buyer's motivation to bring the most amount of money to close the deal? So it's all motivation at the end of the day. And when you go on a listing appointment, I go on a listing appointment, that's the number one thing we want to find out. How can I help you, and how soon do you need to be there, and what's your next move after that? Give me the picture so that it's not a guessing game, and I'll tell you exactly the roadmap how to get there. Now, if you want to offer 2% because you're in California or in New York, it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you to offer 4% because the additional 2%, you're going to make that in the net because of the amount of people who are going to see your property. Correct. But once again, it comes back to the motivation is you need to know what the motivation is, and you need to know what you want to net. Because after, if the numbers don't make sense, we can't sell the property. I'm not going to do it for 1% or 0% because you need to net more. You're just trying to sell the home in the wrong market. You need to wait 6 months or 12 months or whatever that case may be. Right. So it's always nice to go to sellers and be able to find out what their motivation is. Give them a real example like, yeah, we're going to be in this range of what you're going to walk away with, but I'll show you how to maximize that. And discounting the commission because you think you're saving is actually the worst thing you can do. Now there's a lot of buyers out there, especially as we go into a buyer's market where now they have the option. Well, you better be offering 4 or 5%. You know what I mean? It's just the cost of doing business. But it really comes down to the motivation. Where do these sellers want to go on their next step? Where are the buyers coming from? Is it a job relocation? Do they have a new baby? Who knows? But
Right.
that's our job. That's what our
Yeah.
job is. And so many times, even here in Georgia, it happened in Texas, it happened in California, is you get realtors on the other side that want to fight for their client and all that. Like, listen, you're going to make it worse for your client. You're going to lose the negotiations with me. Let's figure out how to get to the table so that everyone wins. I'm not trying to stab you, but if you try to stab me, it's not going to work for you or your seller or your buyer, right? So we want to work together to get to the closing table so that all parties can figure out how they can go to the next step. It's that simple. So
100%. And I actually wish the National Association of Realtors would have been helping to educate more of the public about what agents do and the whole process, the whole protocol and process of closing the deal. Like you said, getting to the closing table. Yes, agents open up doors and they show houses, right? That's the beginning. That's the very beginning. That's not all they do. That's just the very first step. Now we've got a lot to do after that.
Assistants to do.
Sorry?
I said that's what we pay assistants to go do because that's not even our value. Our value is knowing the contract. You're paying me for what I know, not for my time.
Right. And one of these interviews we got to do sometime, Robert, is break out contracts. Maybe one in Georgia. I'll break out one in Nevada. Maybe one. We'll even go as far as the California one and stretch that one out, right? And we'll sit there and digest. We'll break it down a little bit, so people can understand. These are all the boxes that we have to check. Yes, no, check this one. Don't check that one. And they all can have a complete, profound effect on the whole transaction of the boxes we check. A lot of times the sellers and the buyers, they really don't even know what's being checked. They're relying on us to share the information with them on this is what happens when you do check that box or when you don't check that box, or we put in this time or that time for possession and closing dates. And I mean, there's the price. Yes, very important, obviously. And then there's also the terms and conditions that go into this whole negotiation as well. And these are all very, very, very important when you're talking about, families moving and careers and jobs and across state, across countries. There's a lot that goes into figuring all that out. So we have to dial all that in for our clients. And there's a strong value there in someone that's going to coordinate all that on just the buyer side and the seller side. We have to see it all and be able to figure it all out and make it work for everybody and get to that closing table, right?
Exactly, 100%. Because you, at the end of the day, and I don't want to waste your time as a seller, but I sure as shit don't want to waste my time either. So let's figure out what it is that we need to do to get your home sold. And if right now is not the time, no big deal. Let's stay in contact. Let's stay in communication. I'm still going to be doing this in 1, 5, 10 years when you're ready. And I tell people all the time, like, I'm a very good salesperson. I used to sell really good appliances at Sears. I used to sell really good stuff and be a salesperson. Real estate is not about being sales. It's about servicing our clients to the maximum because they're dealing with the biggest transaction typically of their life. And they're relying on us. It's a big ticket to hold a real estate license, but I treat it as a business. I treat my clients as family. And I think that's really what it takes. And the more the agents start doing that and building their own database of people who know, like, and trust them, then it's a wrap, because there's so many companies who go out there and buy online leads and then give it to their agents. And their agents are salary employees such as Redfin or any of those. It's not going to work. It's not going to work in the future.
I don't see it working at all. At all. There's too much involved.
We're going to see a shift, I think, in brokerages such as EXP, Remax, Keller Williams, the big brand names that allow companies to grow within, not the Zillow teams and not that you can buy leads, but I'm talking about working for Zillow, working for Redfin, because I think that model is going to slowly go away because as AI comes out and more crap goes out there, now the agents need to bring even more value. And the ones that do are going to do great. The ones that don't, well, they're probably going to be working at McDonald's or the next job that comes for them.
100%. And I tell people too, so you want a flat fee broker? Have you been to the DMV? How was your experience there? Is that what you want, selling your home, making you the most money, handling all the possessions and the time that's involved in getting you moved somewhere? You want somebody that's very involved and cares about the outcome of the result. So you're going to refer them people in the future. And that's where the gold is for us. It's not about one sale, one quick little commission. That's why good agents don't focus on, oh my God, I want all the commission on this one deal. If it's not a full-blown crazy commission, okay, hey, we just want to get the deal done. We want to make our clients happy, let them get to their next adventure in life or wherever they're going to move to. And we want to earn their respect. We want to earn their referral. We want to earn their future business. That's where the gold is in this business, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's where it's at, because that's the value in getting the referrals in the future. Because the longer they're around, the more people we talk to, the more that we are top of mind with more and more people, the more, well, they're going to know our story. They're going to know, hey man, Cash has been in real estate for like 75 years now. Like, I'm going to use him. He knows his shit. Versus nothing bad about a brand new agent, because I was there and you were there at one point, but
Yeah.
it's a different beast. It's a different animal. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm not want to sell my $1 million home to someone who got in the business yesterday because they were a friend, because
Right.
business be done. There's a lot more negotiations, a lot more going on, where you as a buyer or you as a seller 100% need to be protected to some degree. And even for sale
100%.
by owners, like, you're still protected going to use an attorney. That's okay, but you're just not going to know the ins and outs of how to get there with top dollar. So it's a combination of all that, but 100% referrals is where it's at, because I want to service every one of my clients.
Right.
I want to service the ones buying a $500,000 or $5 million the same way, and that's getting the best deal for them, doing it on their time, what works best, open communication. They know exactly what's going on. It's not a guessing game. That's gonna lead us to the golden way.
Absolutely. Agreed. 100%, man. 100%. And in today's world and market, I know that we all got to get going here real quick. And I'd like to follow up with some future videos talking about how to prepare your house for sale in these kind of markets, right? Actually, any market, really. These are the things you should be doing anyways, but especially in a market like we're in right now, where it's slowed a little bit. It's a little bit more normal, more neutral, right? You've got a little more competition because inventory has picked up. You've got the demand kind of slowed down a little bit because they're waiting on these interest rates. You've got buyers, sellers, and agents a little confused about this whole commission situation and changes, right? And again, this is why you want a really good agent that knows how to articulate that. And they study it, they research it, they know the answers. And if they don't have the complete, straightforward answers, they're going to get the right answers from the right person, like a Dave Rendell, right? This is a guy that you go to. This is Mr. Real Estate, in my opinion. The guy is so incredibly knowledgeable. This is who, and he's our broker with Remax. Love the guy. He's fantastic. And hey, if I have a question that I have not learned in my 17 years of real estate, which things do come up, I'm going to go to the source and someone that has the complete knowledge and the straight answer on that, right?
Yeah, and you've been in business for 20 years, but what you learned 20 years ago is not what's going on now. So it's continuing education that's super important, right? So
Correct.
we have experience, we know how to manage it, we know how to have client control to be able to get everyone to the closing table. But also at the same time, that's what I talked about earlier, is we don't do this part-time. We're doing this 8 hours a day, dived in, whether it's video content, whether it's learning contract, whether it's going to classes, whether it's networking with other agents. Doesn't matter. Our feet are in, and we are sponges, constant learning, so that when that client comes to us, and we can give them the best options, the best resources to help their needs. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, if that's what you're paying me for, right? You're paying me for my service.
100%.
Whether I do it, my team does it, someone I pay to do it. It's that, and knowing how to do it at the highest level. So, yeah, I mean, people like Dave Rendell, he's constantly in it. He's a sponge with it. But yeah, I think as far as the market where people are going to start using realtors who are in the game more, it's going to really come down to that value proposition. What are you bringing to the table? And it's not, what do I give away for free? It's not that. Let me pay for your moving company. No, it's how can I maximize everything for you? How could you use me and my knowledge? And you're going to pay for it, to get your results. So
100%, man. I totally agree. Absolutely. Well, listen, I know that you got to go. You got some appointments you got to get to, and I do as well. I really appreciate you taking the time so we can get here. And I hope that people out there have gained a little value from this and maybe seen a couple of things from a different perspective from two hardworking agents. Please subscribe. Just pop down here and subscribe real quick so we can make sure we keep you updated on the information that comes out, because we will do more videos and bring more knowledge from the trenches of real estate for you anytime you want. If you have any questions, anything particular you want to have some discussion about, please go ahead and put those in the comments as well. But especially, please take a minute and subscribe. Would appreciate it. Okay, Robert, thanks, my friend.
Real quick, Cash, I got to throw it out there. I know we're all about YouTube, and a lot of my buyers are relocation buyers, and that helps my sellers a lot, because I bring a whole different value proposition of people looking at their property, with my channels and different things. So I want to say, shout out to everything you're doing with YouTube and growing it and keeping everyone connected. Check out my channel, living in Atlanta, Georgia, and you can check out what it's like being on the East Coast, what life is like. And if you know someone looking to buy or sell, give me a call, shoot me a text. You guys can find my information I
Robert,
appreciate
a great
it.
agent. You guys will not go wrong with Robert. The guy will guide you through the process and bring a ton of knowledge and skill to the table for you. And he'll be able to articulate all these changes and things going on and give you the options so you can make the best decision going forward. So I definitely highly recommend Robert. Okay. So thank you guys, everybody, for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.